Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to a complete Flutter app building tutorial. Here you will learn how to build an e-commerce app for food delivery, and this app would be both for iOS and Android. And this app would also come with a complete backend. And why build this app? Because you want to master Flutter framework, because you want to master Dart programming language and backend framework, and you also want to get a job. Well, after doing this course, you'll get much better or master Flutter framework and Dart programming language. If you're new to Flutter, or if you're coming from another background or another programming language, or if you are a fresh college graduate, this is the right place for you, because this would be a complete app. And if you're looking for a job, right after finishing this tutorial, you will have something heavy to write on your CV. Here we'll cover some major features. Well, first we'll learn how to show products based on category. Then you will learn how to build shopping carts, place your order, track order. After that, you'll also learn how to build user profile and pages like sign in and sign up pages. And we'll also see how to build user address location from Google Map. And you can also build zone-based order for users. And the whole app would keep track of user authentication. Some other major features will cover Firebase notification, and we'll see how to do payment and payment SDK like PayPal. And then from the backend, you'll also learn how to upload new products and see order details and update order, and as well as you'll also see user profile on the backend. Well, in tutorial part 1, we'll have 12 hours, and in 12 hours, we'll cover a lot of useful ideas. First, we'll start off by building 4 complex UI screens, and for building those screens, we will be using stack and positioned widget as well as different slivers. We'll cover sliver app burst and sliver box to adapter. And one of the complex UI would be animated page view, where we'll see how to scale up, scale down, and animate the position. And right after that, we will learn about our app architecture, which would be very useful further down the road when you are going to build a new app. And here we'll cover API client repository and controllers, and we'll also learn what are they and how to build them, and we'll see their connection with each other. And after learning this concept, we'll see how to load them in the dependencies, and we make sure that our dependencies would be loaded when our app starts. And then we'll go ahead and start working with building models, classes, with the JSON map and a list. And I know that this is a very scary concept for Flutter beginners, so here we'll take it slowly and cover things in detail step by step. And once we are equipped with these ideas, then we'll go ahead and build our first product controller, cart controller, and we'll learn how to process the related data. And throughout this first part, we'll also cover about responsive layout. So that also means that when we run our app on iOS or Android, different devices, they would look exactly the same, but at the same time they will have proportional size. So right after this tutorial part 1, you'll definitely get better at Flutter and Dart programming language. Well, in part 2, we'll have 12 hours, and by 12 hours you will finish 8 complex UI screen, and after this you'll really become a hero in Flutter front-end development. And over here you'll learn how to build complex models, classes, and working with JSON map and list. Another major feature would be working with Google Map and how to interact with Google Map and save user data. And then you'll learn how to build location, user, and auth controllers and how to process the related data. So we'll learn and we'll focus on how to pick up user location based on user tab. And then you'll learn how to keep track of user orders and show the user related notification from Firebase. And you will also learn how to set up PayPal payment using PayPal SDK, and all of them would be also covered in the backend for user management. Another major feature would be zone-based user location and service. So by the end of part 2, you will really master Dart programming language. And in tutorial part 3, we'll have 3 hours, and here we'll take care of some of the platform specific issues like notification for both Android and iOS, and we'll also see how to turn this mobile app into web app. And this is where the Flutter shines, okay? Because Flutter, once you write code in one platform, pretty much you can run it everywhere. So you just need to know how to build a responsive app. And at the end, we'll see how to publish this app in the App Store. Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. So this is where we left off last time. That's what I mean by this checking out. So we'll do it one more time. We'll check out and we'll see how things go. And it's asking me to fill in my address. So that's what I'll do. And then, okay, I did. We saved our address and now we'll go back, and here we have items. So we have 8 items, and now we'll go ahead and check out. Now it will take me to this payment page, and we'll go for payment, and let's see how it goes. Now do remember, because we are in simulator and this is also a web view, so it might be a little slow, but in real life, if you put it on production, you have to have CDN to make it load faster. Otherwise, web view is a bit slow because it's not embedded inside your app. So whenever you deploy it in real world, you have to use a CDN for this, or a good server, which has good configuration. Okay. Anyway, so here I'll type in my password and click OK. See how it goes. Okay. All right. So we'll pay it, and hopefully the payment will be successful. And let's wait for it. Yes. Okay, so that's what we have. Now the first thing we do, go ahead and take care of this layout. That's what I said last time. We'll do that. Okay, now here I do have some problem with Git version management. So this project has the files that have different colors, so you can ignore them. It's my local settings. I don't have the time to reset things because I just wanted to do this tutorial because I'm quite busy, so I didn't have much time to fix these issues, but it's not going to interrupt your work. So if you're following along with me, just keep following. So forget about the colors over here. Anyway, so work with this, the layout. For this one, we need to come to this pages over here, and we'll come to this payment page, I guess, this one. And over here we have order success page. Okay, and once again, skip this color. Don't worry, your color should be pretty much only one color for all the files. I think they're all white because it's a Git version management problem. I'll fix it after the tutorial. Okay, so don't worry about that one. So now here, this is the page where we want to take care of this thing. Okay, all right. Well, first thing is that the font is too big, right? So over here, definitely we can change it 26 to 20. Yes, it worked. And other thing we want to take care of is height. So it's 30 right now. Actually, we could do it based on dimensions. We have dimensions, and here we'll do height 10. Okay, all right. So it's getting better. And what else? So over here, we can also do 10. Okay, all right. And I think another place, vertical dimension 10. All right. Okay. So there is looking right now, looking nice. Okay. So now other thing I want to change is this one. Actually, I don't want to use this image itself because I want it to have the same color as this one. So I'll just replace this. Okay. Now to be able to replace it, first I will draw something. I would be using icon. Okay. So here we do icons dot, say, check circle outline, this one. Okay, so that's what we'll be using. But now for this one, the condition should be pretty much the same. Okay, so here if the status is 1, then we'll go ahead and do this. Okay, so over here we checked if the status is 1, we show it checked, otherwise the warning. Now status 1 means the payment was successful, right? So that's what we did last time, and here we do the same. Over here I think warning amber outline. All right, okay, cool. Now we'll set up here size, so size 100. We'll see how it goes, and then color. Okay, now here we use app colors dot main color. Okay, now right after this, we need to work on this one. Okay, all right, so let's hot reload and see how it looks. Okay, great. So they're looking much better. So for this reason, I'm going to erase this. Okay, all right, great, perfect. Now instead of height 45, we could do 30. Okay, all right, so now it looks better. So this way it should be much better. Okay, so we're done with the layout of this thing. Okay, now we'll go back to our home page. Okay, so we'll click on this. Okay, all right. Now the payment has been done, right? So now there are a few issues that I'd like to address once the payment has been done. Now here you see, if you click any of them, you will see that the 8 is still there, okay? All right. So now the reason is because after payment is done, you have to clear out the card and card history, okay? So we didn't do that. We just made the payment, but we didn't do it. So that's what we need to do right now. So we need to clear out these issues. So for this one, we need to come to our cart page, which is over here. Okay, so cart page. Okay. So from down there, actually, what do? We make the payment, right? So if you come down over here, right. So this is the place where we do the payment. Okay, we check the address. If the address list is not empty, we fall back to this condition. Okay, all right. Yeah. So what do we want to do right now? So you see here, we place the order, then we have a callback function. Okay, we need to find that callback function, which is this one. Okay. So if successful, then we go to payment page. Okay. So before we go to payment page, actually, we could remove those items from the cart, okay? So these items and as well as history. So right over here, actually, we'll create 3 methods, actually, okay? So first one is get.find, okay? And here we do cart controller, okay? And we'll create a method clear, all right? I think we already have one, so because I didn't have any error, I think earlier in our previous tutorial we have done that one. So click on this. Yes, we do have this on. So we set the map. These items are map, right? So we set it to empty map. All right. So now here, that's the first part. Second, we do get.find, and here we do cart controller. Okay, and here we'll have a method. We'll call remove cart shared preferences. Okay, remove cart shared preferences. Now this method we don't have. We have to create one. Okay, shared preference. Okay, this one. Preference, yes, spelled it right. Okay, so we're going to create this. Next, we'll create another method, okay? And it'll also be in our cart controller. Okay, now here we do add to history. Add to history, this one, all right? Okay, so we are going to add it to our history. So now, let's click on this one and take a look. So here we call this one, and looks like it goes ahead and add it to our history. So what do we do here? Before we, okay, now with this, we remove the items from the memory. Okay, and it's pretty much the same with this. We also remove the items that is saved in the local storage. Remember from the earlier tutorial, each time we add item here, it goes to local storage directly, okay? And so we remove those, all of them first, and then once again we add it to the list, some fresh items which has been added to the database. So we also save it in our local storage, okay? So that's what's going to happen over here. So now this is the method that we need to create, remove cart shared preferences, okay? Now, so that means that in cart controller, we need to create this one because we are calling it from here, but we think that this is present in cart controller. So we'd come over here at cart controller and we'll create a new method over here, okay? So here we would do void remove cart shared preference. Okay, now we'll do cart repo dot. Now we'll have a similar method in the cart repo. We don't have this one yet, but we have to create. Okay, all right. So now we'll go to cart repo. This is our cart repo. Now right below it, we'll create the method. So the method name is whatever we had just now. Okay, so what do? It get the shared preference object and remove. Okay, now for removing, we'll set the list here, cart list. Okay, all right. So now remember, this is in our app constants, which we have to work like this one. Okay, so here you see cart list. Okay, now of course instead of writing it here like this, so here we do cart list. Okay, all right. Okay, that's one. And another one would do share preference dot remove so now cart history list, because we are removing all the previous one and add again. So this one, okay, cart history list. Okay, so this is the cart history list, right? So the string is this one. But now we'll come to our cart rep over here, and we already have this one as well. Okay. And so what's happening here? So if we're on cart page, so we are removing. So as we remove, we actually call this method and then go to cart share preferences, and we remove everything that was in the history list. Okay, because with shared preferences, each time we need to add, you have to add actually after removing. Okay, there is no easy way to work with it. It's not like a list that where you can add at the bottom. So the better way is removing everything earlier and add again. Okay, so that works better. At least that works better with me. So I'm not sure if you have a better method, you can share with me. I would be happy to learn. Anyway, and here at the same time we add it to the history list, right? Okay, so we call this method add to history list. Now this is the method, but previously, yes, we have a lot of logs. We don't need all these logs. Okay, so we can remove this one. Okay, we can also remove this one as well as this one. In fact, we can remove this whole for loop because that was just for logging. Okay, now over here, instead of remove card, we can just set it to this one. Okay, because we already removed this one previously. I mean, when we were trying to remove with this method, right? So I already removed that. So now this is the local variable cart, which is a list at the top that we have defined. So this is one we are resetting to empty. So what are we doing here? We are adding everything to the history, okay? Right here. So that's what we are doing. So now if these things go correctly, we will see that after payment, my cart is empty, okay? And that's what we should have, okay? All right, so now I'll go ahead and restart my app and we'll see how things go from the beginning. And what we'll do, we'll go ahead and try to make a new order, but this is still there because our shared preferences still has data. So whatever we have done over here, this will only take effect if this order is successful. I mean, the one we are going to do, okay? So here we'll come over here and check out. Okay, so what I did, I restarted app. Now it cleaned everything. The reason is because over here, this call after the place, I mean, once our order has been placed, we see that after that this gets called. Okay, now that means that our order has been placed successfully, and that's why it's empty, right? Now here, of course, now we should have gone to the payment page, but we didn't because it was a bit slow. But as I said that if you're really going to use WebView for payment, you have to have CDM or much faster server. Otherwise, it might take time. But from my experience, because I have used it on real device, it takes around 5 to 8 seconds to get done with the payment. Because right now we are on simulator, so it could be a bit slow. Okay, so yeah, this is what we'll do one more time. Okay, so we'll come over here and we'll check out. Okay, so this time we see this, it showed up immediately. Okay, okay, so it's still working. It's loading. Okay, so here I'll type in my password. By the way, I just released a video how to debug API from Flutter and Backend. So you should watch that video, and that video should definitely help you. Anyway, so we'll come over here and let's see, things are still looking good. Okay, now this page might be a bit slow. Okay, so we see that. Now, yes, of course, we have seen that we do have a bit of problem. We'll also fix that one, like 404. I know why that happens, but that has to do with more backend, not this one. Okay, all right. Now here, we see that our ID is 1017 and status is successful, user ID is 27. Okay, now this record should be in the database, right? Yes. Okay, now we are on front end. Now if we come and see that it's gone, okay, so that means everything hopefully went well. So now we'll go to our backend and verify. I mean, we'll see in our database that it worked. Okay, so this is the order ID that we have done just now. So paid people, because remember earlier that one there was 16 which we didn't finish, right? Yeah, and confirmed, yes. And right now I'm recording it, it is June the 10th, so the order ID is correct. Okay, so yes, so it went really well, so it means payment is working and the cart is working as well. Okay, now what is the next thing you want to do? Okay, okay, so the next thing, we want to be able to show that in our history list. Okay, but there are 2 pages to work. We also need to work with, well, it's already here, sorry, we don't need to. So because the payment is successful, so it's here. So we can also do it one more time. I mean, we can go ahead and make a new payment, it will work, but we don't want to. So my idea is, what I'm going to do next is over here. So now remember, this one is coming from your local history list, okay? Whatever the payment, whatever the items you have ordered, local storage. So this is what we're going to do. Over here, as we click on this, we want to show the data from the server, okay? Then how many orders are there for this user, and we want to show it here, okay? So this is what we'll be working next. And right after that, we'll be starting working for Firebase. But once we are done with this, we'll be working with Firebase notification. Anyway, so if you want to see the actual app that's live, so you can check out the link in the website. You can, if you have an Android phone, you can test it on your Android phone, because the app, that one I have, that already has Firebase, the shopping app, but that has more functions. Okay, so the actual notification, you'd be able to get that one. All you need to do, download the app, our shopping app, the one we are working, and register an account, then place an order. You'll see that we have notification. Okay, and recently I have also released a lot of tutorials about Firebase notification. If you have a problem, you can also check out them. If you want to learn them ahead, you can also go ahead and check out them. Okay, but once I'm done with this history page, definitely I'll go back to work with Firebase notification, because I really want to cover with this tutorial. Okay, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and add order screen or order history, things like that. Now for that one, we need to come over here, and inside this pages, actually first we'll create a new folder, and we'll call it order. Okay, right, so here we'll save all the order related info. Okay, like order history, current orders, things like that. So the first file we'll create inside this is called order screen or order page. Okay, so we'll do order page dart. Now inside this we are going to create a stateful class, and we'll call it order page. Okay, now from here we'll input the library, and I'm going to wrap it around inside a scaffold, so that we might have background color for this. So we do scaffold. Okay, all right, body. Now here we do simply a text. This is a body. Now we'll wrap it around a center widget for now. Okay, that's fine. And we need to find a way to call this one. So for history page, now that's coming from our home page, I guess, and home page over here, hopefully this one. Okay, right, this one. So here we're going to replace this one. We don't need this anymore. Okay, so from here we'll call order page. Order page. Okay, right, and we need to import the library. Okay. Okay, so most probably we need to reload to take effect with this. Okay, so this is a body. Now this is what we had earlier over here. Okay, cool. And now this is the place where we want to work with. Okay, so this is the stateful class, and right inside this we'll have this one. We'll create some variables. Now here we want to create some tab controllers. Okay, tab controllers. Now that would look like this. Actually, if you're wondering how that would look like this. So you'll have your orders and history like that. Okay, so we'll have these two tabs. This is the complete app actually, but I wouldn't say complete, but a lot of work is here than the one we are working with. Okay, so here we'll have a view like this. So that's what we are working for. Okay, all right, so now we'll open up our app over here. So we know that we'll have two tabs. Now on Flutter, if you want to work with the tabs, definitely you need to have tab controller. Okay, so we'll declare tab controller here. So we do tab controller. Okay, and we'll create a variable. We'll call it tab controller. Now we use light because we'll initialize it later. Okay, now here we'll have one for user. We want to check if the user is logged in or not. Okay, was logged in, okay, or not. So that's all, simple as that one. Now we want to do override of our init state so that we can initialize some variables. So here we do void init state, yeah, and the super.init state, right? Init state. Oops. init state. Let's see. Oops, I think I created a stateless widget. So we are supposed to create a stateful widget. But don't worry, so we'll just convert it to a stateful widget. Okay. All right. So I'll hit Option Enter on Mac. Now, how to convert a stateless widget to stateful widget? There is a link for this one. You can check that out. Okay, for different devices. Anyway, so here we are. Now it became a stateful widget. Now if it is, now here we can initialize. Okay, now we want to have two tabs. Okay, but the condition is you have to log in. Like if we see my app over here, so actually I have logged in, so I'll log out over here. Now if you see, if you click on this one, it will say sign into your account. Okay, so that's why we need to check whether we are going to log in or not. Okay, yeah, so that's what we need to do. So here we would simply do is logged. Okay, and do get dot find. Now here we do auth controller, and here we'll call is logged. User logged. Okay, we need to import the libraries, otherwise we want to get the methods. Get. Okay, so here we do get is logged. Log we don't have. I think our method is user logged in this one. Let's go back and check what it returns. User logged. Yeah, so based on token, it gives us value whether the user has logged in or not. Okay, all right, so cool. So we'll check this one. So here we'll do conditional check is logged. If it's logged in true, then we want to create a tab controller. Okay, so here we'll put it here, because if the user is not logged in, you don't need to create tab and show. Okay, so this part is only belongs to a certain user. So you need to tell him, okay, you didn't log in, so go back and log in. Okay, all right. So here it's a tab controller line 2. Okay, because we want to have two tabs. I'm sorry, and here we have this vsync. Okay. Now, if we are going to use vsync, now we need to use another, what is this called? Provider. It's called ticker provider, actually. Ticker provider state with mixin. Now the error is gone, right? Okay, so here we want to create it. We'll be able to create this. Okay, now here all this time there has been a problem. So because earlier it was a stateless class, we converted it to stateful class. Now this whole section actually should go out of this build method, right? Okay, so we'll put it outside here. Okay, all right. Okay, cool, we did that. Okay, now here, if the user has logged in, then what we'll do, we'll get order list. Okay, get order list. Okay, so that's what we want to get. Now this should be coming from our order controller. Okay, so that would be more like get dot find. That would be order controller, like that. Okay, so we want to load all the list, but of course this part has to be coming from database. Okay, so that's what we want to do, but I guess we don't have this method. Definitely we'll get error. First let us import this one. Yes, we don't have it. Okay, but we can comment it out for now, but it would be something like this. Okay, all right. Okay, so now we'll be here. So insert scaffold, and here we wanna do a app bar. Okay, so here we do app bar. Okay, and here we'll do title, and here we'll have text, and for text itself you'd say my orders. Okay, just simply like that, and yeah, Okay, now tab bar, for app bar, we're going to give it a background color. Here we do app colors dot main color. Okay, all right, that's what we want to have. Now we'll go to this app, and yeah, we already see that it's here. Okay, so yeah, that's what we have. Now this is the part now we need to work with. Okay, so if we're going to work with this one, and if you see the layout over here, this one, so let me log in. Okay, so here, yeah, so what do we see here? We need to have a column. Okay, all right, so in the column, the first part is this one. Okay, the second part is this one, so we'll have two sections. Okay, in the first section of the column, or the first child, will be just showing these two tabs, and then the bottom part would show this items. Okay, order items. Okay, so for this purpose, we need to remove this one actually completely. That's what we did. And then we have to have this column over here. Okay, and children. Okay, so that's the first thing, and then we'll have child over here. Oops, I don't know what happened here. Sorry. Actually, we want to have a container. So inside the container, we want to have this too. And the container will have width, and here we can simply get dimensions, screen width. Okay, that's what we'll have. Okay, and now here inside this, we'll have our tab controller, the one we created. So we need to pass that one. So here we do tab bar, and then we'll have controller and tab controller. Okay, so that's how we did. And let's see. So we need to record argument tabs. That's why we have this error. Okay, all right. So let's get down with these tabs as well, and we'll see how it looks in our case. Okay, now in general, inside this tabs, you want to pass tab class that takes, if you hover over on it, you'll see that it takes text, key, and a lot of the items are actually optional. Anyway, so here we'll pass text. Now here we'll say current. It means my current orders. All right, and here we'll have another tab, text. Here we'll say history. Okay, so we'll have these two tabs. So now let's go ahead and run it. Let's save it. Don't worry about that one. I guess we might have to restart it because we have a state of change over state, because stateless class becomes stateful class. That's why you get that error. Yes, right. So that's what I was talking about. Okay, so now it's working. Okay, now part of them are ugly, so we can actually go ahead and do a bit of styling with them. So here, indicator color in the, sorry, it should be inside this. Indicator color, we'll use theme dot off context dot primary color. All right. Okay, so this is our primary color. And indicator weight, because I guess it's too thin, or let's see, indicator weight is 3, so it become a little fatter right now. Okay, and label color, we can also use our primary color for this one. That means the text color actually. Okay, right like that. Okay. Now this is a bit strange, right? So this color looks okay, but this one doesn't. So here what we'll do, we'll is unselected label color. Okay, so here we do theme.of_context dot disabled color. Okay, so now it looks better. Or instead of this one, we can also use our yellow color. Okay, because we have main two colors, that colors dot yellow. Okay, all right, so that's our history. Okay, cool. So we'll have two main colors, this blue and this yellow one. All right. So with this, we are done with the top section. Okay, now we have a column. So the first part was the container, and which contained this one. Now here we want to show the orders. Okay, now for showing the orders, right after this, here we'll have tab bar view. So whenever you have tab bar, you also have to implement tab bar view. Now tab bar view, you can actually implement it anywhere in your class within any widget, so it doesn't matter. So you can do it separately. Okay, but now it does take children. Okay, so it takes children. So that's what we are doing over here. And you also need to pass the controller, otherwise we'll get error. Okay, so here we'll pass controller. Now here we do. Now here we want to show things. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and do that. Here we do order 1, and let's do another one. Order 2. And we have an error. Null check used a null value. Let's see where it is. What is causing this problem? This is viewport as size. Well, let me wrap it around inside extended widget. Extended. So expanded, not extended. All right. Okay, now the error is gone because we are inside this column, and tab bar didn't know how much takes to place. That's why it was causing this error. Unlike this container, I guess container takes the minimum space, and with the tab bar it didn't know how much take to place, so that's why it was causing this error. Now the thing here is expanded widget is taking all the available space. Okay, yeah, so that's why the error is gone. But of course you can confine it within a container like this, I guess. Okay, and you can give it a height, say 500. Okay, so it still will work, but 500 would be somewhere like here. Okay, you don't want a container, you want an expanded widget, because you might have a lot of orders. They should be like this. Okay, now after saying that one, this part is important. Why? So the first one would relate to current orders, the second one would relate to history orders. Okay, like order 1, order 2. So we need to create a class that will get all the data for the orders that we have currently, and we'll call it from here. And then we'll have to have another class where actually it could be the same class, just we need to use some conditional check where we'll have data, and here we'll show the history. History means the orders that have been done, the food that has been delivered. Okay, so within current orders, we'll see that from the backend we are processing them, like order has received, order is confirmed, order is being delivered, and order has been delivered. Until that, we'll show everything here. and over here we'll show whatever the orders user has placed so far. Okay, so that's what we'll see. Okay, so hopefully it makes sense. So now our next step is to create a class, and where we want to show the orders they have been running. But remember, here, before we go ahead and create a class, actually we need to work with this one. We need to get all the orders. Okay, now the orders should be in this kind of list, and I mean, here we're calling this method, right? The method will have a certain list. The list will save the orders from the database. And once we come over here, we'll take that order and show it, okay? So why we do it right now? Because right after user has logged in, we want to load the data immediately, okay? So that we don't have to wait. So user has logged in, so we just get the data. Okay, so our next step is to create this method and load the data internally. Okay, so now to be able to do that, we need to come to our order controller. Okay, so we'll search for it. Our file name is order controller. Okay, it's not taking my command over here. It was supposed to. Let's try it one more time. Okay, then I have to find it manually. So let me find it here. Okay, we are here. So we have this order control. Once again, ignore the color. It's my local Git settings problem. That is nothing to do with you. Okay. So far we have one method over here. Okay. So we want to create another method. Okay. So the method name is get order list. So that's what we want to have it. So here we do future void get order list. Okay, all right, and what else? So we need a sync like that. Okay, now here we'll call a method from our order repo. Okay, so the similar one. So we'll come to order repo over here, order repo, and here we'll create a new method. So the method name would be as usual, get order repo. So here we'll have. Okay, what I can do, I can just completely copy this one and put it here, and here we'll call it get order list. Okay, now this is a get method, so we don't need anything. If it's post method, we need to pass the data, right? And as well as we also don't need this one because we are not passing anything. Okay, now here it should be get data. Okay, all right. Now we need to create, of course, this place order is for placing an order, so we need to create a new constant. Okay, so that's what we'll do over here. Now let's see, where do we have our orders? Okay, so right over here. Okay, so we'll copy this one and we'll put it here, and here we'll call it order list URI. Order list URI, and here we'll call it list. Okay, now we can come back to our, we don't need this cart repo and cart controller and homepage and auth repo. Okay, we don't need any of them. Okay, so we need this one. So here we'll just simply call order list URI. Oops. Okay, cool. Now if you're here, so we would want to call that one. Okay, now here we do have is loading. So here what are we going to do, because we are going to place call from the server, so we want to trigger is loading equal true. Okay, that's what we want to do. And after that we want to do await and order repo to get order list. All right, now we know that it will give us a response. Okay, now once again, I created a video how to debug is this response. You should definitely check that out. I showed in that video how to debug and debugging techniques. I strongly recommend go ahead and watch that video. That would help you. Okay, because writing code is easy, but debugging is difficult. But when you know debugging technique, actually that saves your life. Okay, a lot of time nobody can help you, only you can help you because you know your code logic. If you ask other people for help, they might not be able to help you, so you should learn the debugging. Okay, anyway, so here we'll continue. So you get the response, and then we'll check the status code. Response.status code, if it's 200, so 200 means everything goes correctly, right? Okay, all right. So if it is that, then we need to create a new order list, okay? And put everything in the list. All right. Now let's see what do we have so far. Do we have a list over here? Nope. We don't have a list, so we need to create that. That is the next step because we don't, whatever it is, that would be inside this response, right? If we get 200. So we want to put the data, retrieve the data and put in this response, okay? Anyway, so here, else. Okay, so before we go ahead and create a list, we have to look at another issue. So that's our database. Now here is our order database, right? So we place the order, that's no problem. But after that, we have to get this order back from the database because we want to show in the history list, right? So we are getting this data columns, okay? So for this order, we are getting this data columns. So here I do have 27 columns for each order. Now, that also means that we have to create a model because we'll retrieve all this data and the server would give us the data as JSON and we would use our model to convert them in an object so that we can access them using dot operator. Okay, so that means at the same time, even before we go ahead and create the list, we have to create a model. Why? Because we get the data and we convert them to object and then we put the object in the list. You don't want to put JSON in the list, okay? That would be a disaster, okay? So every time you get data from server, you should, I strongly recommend to convert them to a model, okay? So it would make your life easy as a programmer. So that's what we are going to do now. All right, so that means we need to create another model first. Okay, so here we are with the models, and here, let's see, do we have a model? Actually, I think we have already. I'm sorry, I didn't know that we have a model. I think I should have known that we already have one, right? So that's amazing. Okay, so that means we don't have to create, because creating this model is actually painful in a sense that you have to write a lot, type in a lot. Okay, so we don't have to. So yes, we already have it. So if we have it, so at the top, actually, we can declare two variables, okay? Now, we want to create a list of order model, this one. So the list will be order model type, okay? And here we'll call it running list, okay? Or current order list, actually. Current order list, okay? Now here you want to initialize it later, okay? All right. Now another one, list order model, and here running order list. Okay. So now just like that, we need to create getter. Okay. So that's what we'll do here. So here we'll do list order model. And here we do get, and here we do current order list equal current orders. Let's see, this one, current order. All right, current order list. What is the problem here? Replace return type. Oh yeah, it should be order model, not order model. Okay, now the second one is the same, order model, okay, and get running order list, running on the list. Okay, so we are done with these two variables. So now, because we already have a list, so we'll save whatever we get from the database in this list, and whatever in this database, they are order model type. Okay. Okay, so we are here. Okay, what is the first thing you want to do? You should actually always, when you work with the list, get data from the server. Most of the time you might want to clean them. Okay, so that means you want an empty list. So with this, our list is empty. Otherwise, some of the data might overflow with each other, or how do that shadow each other, right? That's not history, that's current. Okay, all right, great. All right, so we get everything from the server in this response object, the one we had early, and then we have the body, and because we might have a lot of orders, so here we'll use for each loop. Okay, for each loop, and we'll go through it. And inside for each loop, we'll actually get everything as order. You can name it anything, it doesn't matter. Okay, all right, and we need this comma, and we are good, and we don't need this space. Okay, so whatever comes from the database, we are looking through them. Okay, and we want to convert them in this model object, order model, the one we have, and then we'll put this in this list. Okay, all right, so here we'll create an object, we'll call it order model, and here we'll do order model. Now remember, from server we get JSON, right? So we'll convert from JSON. Okay, now here we are passing order, so this object. Okay, and it'll use this from JSON method, which is this one, to convert it to an object. Okay, it'll do it for us. All right, here we are. Okay, now of course the method name is from JSON, you can call it anything. Okay, but of course they should be similar over here as well. Okay, so it doesn't have to be from JSON. Okay, so that's what we have over here. Okay, all right, so we get everything and put this object. Great. Okay, now remember, if we look back in our database, here some of the status is like, say, processing, handover failed, accepted, confirmed, pending, delivered, cancelled. So we need to check what's the current status of the certain order. Okay, so we definitely need to check that one. So the next part would be checking about it. Okay, so if order model call, say, here we'll have order status. Okay, order status equal, say, pending. Okay, so now why use pending? Okay, let me put this. Now we'll come here. What do you mean by order status equal pending? So come over here. Oops. Command V. So let's take the field as order status. Do we have a field? Yes, order status. Okay, now this one, and we should find one over here. Okay, the default one is pending, the value. So in the backend, we'll be able to change this one. Okay, change to some of this over here. Now it does look a little complicated. So this part, when we do the backend UI, then it will get better understanding. So currently the order status is pending, the default one, but we'll be able to change it from the backend once you receive the order from the client. Okay, so we would be checking. So you can always change in the backend. So first the order arrives to the server, to the backend user, they will say it's pending. Okay, and after that we'll have a list in the backend. You can, from the list, you will find there is an option accepted. You will set that. Now it will after setting, it will change to accepted. Okay, and then you can maybe change it to scheduled. Then the order status would be scheduled. Okay, if you deliver it, then the order status would be delivered. Okay, hopefully it makes sense. All right, now that part is not done yet, but we have to do that. Okay, so and we want to layout it over here right now. Okay, so order state is this one. Okay, so we are checking this variable value, and this is coming from our database. We save it here. As we do that, now we can do a conditional check. Okay, so here we'll have this, not like this. Actually just like this. So here we put a lot more conditions. We'll check what it is. Oops, we don't need this actually. Here. So now we'll be changing them. Okay, pending, accepted, processing, handover, and I think the last one is picked up. So these would be coming from database, and you check against them. Okay, all right, we don't need this. Okay, great. So if it is any of them, okay, that means the order is running. Okay, order is still being processed, so we want to put the model in this list. Okay, I think I made a mistake over here. It shouldn't be running. It should be one should be running, one should be current, and there should be history. Okay, sorry about that one. History, and here history. Okay, this that makes sense. Now here history. Okay. Okay. Now here. So if any of this condition met, then it's the current order. Okay, so you want to put this model object, this one, in this current list. Okay, so that's why we need this one. So here we do current order list, and here we do add. We want to put it over here, and here we do order model. Okay, all right. Okay, so else if this condition is not true, then definitely it means the order has been processed long ago, so we put it in the history list. Okay, all right, order model. Hopefully it makes sense. Okay, so now this is if the status code is 200. Okay, what if it's not 200? Okay, so we just want to reset everything. So here we do history list. Okay, make sure everything is empty. Okay, current list, this one. Okay, and once that is done, and over here after this we said it is loading equal false. And whatever happened, we want to update our UI using this method, update UI. So hopefully it actually made sense to you. Okay. All right, great. So now we'll go ahead and take a look at the back end. Okay, so back end code. Now before we do that, let's make sure our URI, so it's order list URI, and at the end it hits this list variable, sorry, the list endpoint, which is inside this customer prefix, order prefix. Okay, so here we need to go to backend, first find this route where it has list. Okay, now here we are. So this is my API, and this is the order prefix that I told you, and inside this I have this one. Okay, all right, and you should have this. If you don't have, just go ahead and type in this one, but you should have this one. Okay, so this is the order list. All right, so the order list resides inside this customer, which we have seen before. Okay, all right. Now there are others, you don't have any methods for them, and you don't need them for now. Okay, all right, so for now we only care about this one. So this is inside this. Okay, So in order controller, we need to find this method which says get order list. So this is get order list method, okay? All right, because it's wrapped inside this middleware, which is auth middleware, sorry. So that means user can only have access to this routes if the user has logged in. So that's the purpose of this auth middleware, okay? And this is pre-built in Laravel, so you don't need to worry about it. So when you want user to have some restriction or user to be able to view some data after logging in, you should use those routes inside this auth middleware, okay? So this middleware, yeah. So it's protected over here. Anyway, so we go to this one. So here, that also means that user has already logged in. And if user already logged in, we can access the request object, okay? All right, so this is also built in. You don't need to worry about that one. When the user is logged in, you can always access the request object in Laravel. Okay, now here we are talking with our order model first, and this is the order model or the orders table. You should know one thing though, while in Laravel, if your table's name is orders, the model name is order, okay? So just skip the S. Well, you can have orders as well, but that's not the convention, okay? So yeah, so what we are doing over here, so we are saying, hey, okay, so find my order model. That means talk with my orders table using this condition. Okay, so what is this? So now this is details is a method that's being called from our order model. Remember, previously we have this order model, okay? All right, you should have it. And now here we have a method which is called details, okay? Now, order table has a relationship with order details database table. Once again, let me do it here. So here, order details. The table name is order details. The model name is order, okay? Now, that should be somewhere here. So this is the order detail class, order detail model, okay? All right, you should have it. If you don't have it, just go ahead and write it down, okay? It doesn't matter, okay? But I believe you all have this one, okay? So that corresponds to a table in the database. Name is orders table, okay? Now, order and order tables, they have a relationship. Okay, so every order has many order details, okay? So we are using Laravel eloquent. So has many is an eloquent. Here we are saying that my orders, any of my orders in the backend will have many order details. Okay, hopefully it makes sense. All right, so anyways, I'll save it. I'll save it over here as well, okay? But if you really want to visualize this data, actually we can do that, okay? So let's go back to the backend, to the database. So this is my orders table and this is my order details table, okay? Now just now we placed an order. Now here you see, here we have this order ID was 17, right? Remember that? So for one order, we have one order detail, but previously we have done some tests. Now one of the order was 11, 11. So it has 3 details. That means there were 3 items in the order, okay? So what does that mean? Okay, let's go ahead and place a new order and we'll know what it is, okay? So right now we'll go ahead and new order. So hopefully we'll generate an order ID 18, okay? And we'll see that in order details, we have that ID as well. Now, how many of them we'll have over here? It's based on the number of items you place, okay? So let's restart our app from the scratch. So what we'll do, we'll go ahead and put items. So here I have one product. I think previously we have added over here 2 products. And well, now I have 3 products, total 6 items, okay? If you come over here, I can add more, okay? So I have 3 products but 7 items. Okay, I have 3 products but 8 items. Now we'll send it to the database, and as we do that, we'll see that hopefully here we have a new order ID. Skip that one. We'll have 18, and then at the same time inside this order details we'll have 18 as well, but we'll have 3 18s because each order has 3 details. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and check it. Here we are doing the payment. Okay, so hopefully this time it'll be faster. We don't want to wait so long. It's loading. Okay, so I'll type in my password. Okay, all right. Of course, we don't see any data here yet because we are not working with the data. Now here we need to save this token because we're gonna do a test with Postman. Okay, anyway, so we'll save it. I'll copy this one first. Okay, otherwise it might get lost. Okay, I did. Make sure, yeah, yes, I copied this one more time. Let's do it because we are going to test it from Postman, but because this is protected, the order controllers or orders are protected with this this auth middleware. So you have to pass the token, and then you can access this from your Postman. Okay, so whenever your routes are protected with auth middleware or middleware like that, if you want to access them from Postman, you have to have your token. Okay, certain kind of ticket. Anyway, so now if we go back to our database, now let's refresh it. Okay, so here definitely we have one new order and it's paid with PayPal, and order has been confirmed, and I think a lot of other information here. Okay, all right. And now if we go to order details, we'll see that we have 3 details. Okay, all right. Most probably that should be the next page because we don't see it here. Okay. Let's see what's going on. Okay, I know some of the orders are old orders, so it's messing up with my data. Okay, so this one. All right. Okay. So okay, now here this database is a testing server. People are putting order as they are following this tutorial. So a lot of the data might not match up, but you forget that one. Okay. So this is the new order that we placed just now. So okay. So 10018. So just now we have 3 details. Okay. So it means that every order might have many order details. Okay. So that's what I was trying to prove here when it says that has many. So it's called a relationship. So order and order details have a relationship, actually 2 relationships. One is this order, the order model has many order details. So that's how you write it here. Okay, has many order details, and the order detail belongs to order class. Okay, belongs to order class or order model. What does it mean? Because if you don't have order, you don't have order details. Okay, so every order details belongs to order class, and every order detail, every order has many order details. Okay, so hopefully it makes sense. All right, so if you still don't understand, and I will explain this to you, just leave a comment. And this one you might not have, and you can skip that one. Okay, so it has nothing to do with you guys because I'm doing more testing as well. Okay, all right, so now we want to view some data from the backend. Okay, sorry, from Postman. So I'll open up my Postman, and I want to get this order list, okay, from our server. Okay, all right, so first we want to open it up, test with Postman. Okay, so that's what we'll do. So here's our Postman that opened up. Okay, and here I'll create a new tab. Okay, so here I'll do mbs.bslmay.com. okay, .com, and API v1, and here I think let me recheck this endpoint. So customer order list. Okay, so now here we are, customer order list. Okay, so that's all. This is a get method, and let's see how it goes. Well, it does say that I have an error over here. Let's see, where is the error? So one is URL generator. I'm not sure whether it has said anything about our own method. Okay, so I'll do a search over here. Order controller. Yes, we do see that order controllers. Okay, now, yeah, I got it. Here you see, I didn't put the token. Okay, so this has to be authorized one because this is protected by auth middleware. So you need to put a token or pass a token. So that's why it says that it couldn't find it, because this is not an open endpoint. So it has to be protected, and it is protected. Okay, so we just put the token, the one we copied earlier from here. Okay, so now let's go ahead and hit it one more time and we'll see what happens. Okay, and it says that couldn't get the request. Okay, let's try it one more time, and we still see the same. Params, authorization, bearer token, view invalid character. Okay, something is wrong with this. The token itself, did I copy it right? Okay. Okay, so let me try it one more time. Let's copy this. We'll put it here, authorization, bearer token, where it is. Okay, so make sure there is no empty space. Okay. Oops. Okay, so let's see. Well, it's still said we have errors over here. So invalid character view in console. Oops, we do have invalid character. Do we have this one? Let's try it. Keep trying. And let's hit send. Yes, this time it worked because we saw 200, right? So that's what we get over here, right? So for this user, because the user is protected with this token, so we have this orders, because some of the orders I posted or other people posted previously, okay, because we are testing all the time. Anyway, so this order has this user has a lot of orders, and the last one we posted is this one. Okay, but of course we are not able to view order details here, right? Because it just gets you the orders itself. Okay, because if we see the code over here, so once that is done and we check against the user that whether we have the correct user or not, and we can access that using this request object. Okay, all right. Okay, and then okay, so let me put it like this so that we become more organized and you know what is happening here. Okay, so if we have this user, okay, if we, well, because the user is logged in, right? So for that user ID, logged in user ID from the database, we try to find it, and if it is true, then we use this get method. We get all the records for that user, for those orders, and we put them in a map. Okay, and as we do that, we want to work with one special field, delivery address. Okay, user's delivery address. Now, if the address in the database, we have this address thing in the database, we can find address for the user, we convert it to JSON. Okay, and otherwise, whatever was there, we just put it. Most probably that would be null. Okay, and then we put the orders to the backend. Okay, so that's what we do. Okay, so we are returning this to the front end. So now as our endpoint is working, we'll be able to post them, we'll be able to show them in the front end, right? So now we'll go back to our front end. Front end is over here. Okay, so since this has been established, order controllers, so now this is the time for us to run this thing from our front end and print the data. Okay, now for front end, we need to be able to enable this one, right? And the error should be gone as well. Okay, and one thing we could do, if we are falling to this one, we could definitely print them. Okay, all right, before we go ahead and print them, so I hope you would understand this one. So we get all these orders from the backend, as we saw. Okay, and we look through them. Okay, so each of the items, like enclosed with this curly braces, okay, they directly go into the model. Okay, yeah, using this we convert them in object, where it has this one-on-one relationship. At the end it becomes an object. Anyway, so all of these things will run in a loop, right? And we take each of the items. So this order refers to each of these things, are the one wrapped around each curly braces. Okay, so we get them, convert them to object, and we look through it. But anyway, so if we get that one, we can actually end of this one over here, we can print the length of the orders. So here we do current orders dot length. Okay, this is the one simply want to put, and want to convert it to string. Okay, all right. So here we want to restore it. Let's see, and so if we click on this one, hopefully this should get called, because I think we are logged in already. Yes, we are, right? So you click on this one, yes. So we have 4 orders for this certain user. Okay, all right. So if we verify it from backend, I think it is 4. So that's 1. That's 2. And that's 3. And that's 4. Okay, now why 4? Because rest of them are completed. Okay, because we'll be also able to print from here as well if you want, actually. Because some of them are for current orders, some of them are history. But now once again, because this tutorial that I'm doing is already completed, a lot of people, they buy it from Patreon, and from there they try to test it. So they place a lot of orders, and maybe that's why a lot of the orders are completed. But if you just following here, it is fine. Anyway, so here we do history list. Okay, all right, this one. So here, let's see if we got a different value, but I think okay, right. So now it makes sense. So total we have 9. Okay, So current orders and history orders. So history orders are completed one, okay, most probably. Anyway, so now as we can access the data and put them in our list, so next we'll see how to show them from here, okay? So the first one would be for current orders, the second one would be for running orders, okay? Makes sense. So now we'll go ahead and build a new class and where we'll be able to view our data over here, okay? Now for doing that one first, we'll come to our folder, which is order, and here we'll create a new class, Dart class. We'll call it view order.dart, okay? Now this would be a stateless class, okay? I will call it view order, okay? All right. Now definitely we need to import some of the libraries. Okay, go ahead and to remove this one. So here we want to have scaffold, okay? All right, body. So that's what we will have, okay? And if we come over here right now, actually we can remove these two sections. Let me put const modifier, otherwise it does look quite strange. And okay, we don't need this here because very soon it will be dynamic. Okay, so here we want to accept okay, just put something, otherwise we'll have error. Okay, cool. Now here we want to accept a boolean, that's all we want, okay? So here we do final bool and we'll call it is current, okay? All right, and here we'll have this is as a required, this dot is current, okay? All right, now here we'll have this order view order class, actually view order, this one, and we are passing is current, okay? Now the first one is the current orders, current tab, and the second one would be again view order and false, so that would be for history orders, okay? All right, and let's see if we can put const before that, if it works. Well, it did, looks like it did. Okay, so now we'll have these two tabs over here and now they're gone, okay? All right, so we're done with this page, so we don't need anything over here. Now, yes, this section, okay? So whatever we put over here, actually, okay, we could do this step by step. We'll remove this one and now here we'll have get builder, okay, the get builder. Now here we'll have order controller, and inside that we'll have builder and we'll call it order controller, okay? I need to cut this one and put it there, and from here we want to return, okay? All right, so here we'll have a return, okay, say return text, okay? For now it's empty. Okay, now we can go ahead and play around this one. And here, inside this method, actually we want to access our data from this list over here, okay? This to list. Anyway, so we don't need them now. We can skip that, and so we'll be able to access this to list. They will have data, current list and history list, right? Okay. So first we need to check if the loading has been done. So here we'll check with like this. If order controller is loading, okay, call false, it means it's been done. All right, okay. If it is false, then we want to create a variable over here and the list, and here we'll do order model, okay, and order model. Okay, this one. Now here we'll check if order controller dot current list, is not empty, it means we have data, right? Okay, great. Okay, so if current order is not empty, then we'll put this in this order. Actually, you don't want to name it order model, you want to name it order list. So create a new list. So here would be order list. Okay, all right, so you want to put it here, right? So whatever is there, you want to put it in this list, order controller dot current order list. Okay, all right, and you want to reverse, you want to get it from reversed. It means whatever was at the end in the database from the bottom, so that would be the latest. Okay, but now you need to convert it to list again, because once you do reversed, it becomes a map. Okay, all right, so that's what we want. And at the same time, actually we could do a check this current if we want the current one. Okay, if this is a current, then we show it from the current list. Otherwise, actually we could do like this, order controller dot history. Actually, do we have history? It should be history, right? Yes. So for this one, actually I think I still have an error over here. I think we need to change that one. There is no running, it should be history. I'll copy this one, I'll put it here and remove this. Okay, cool. So now I can access it. The history, a row list, and reversed, and then we'll convert it to a list. Okay, all right. So with this, we'll be able to know which tab is being tapped. Do remember from order page over here, we have two tabs, right? And each tab has corresponding view order, but based on different conditions. So this is the current tab, and this is the history tab. So for current tab is the running order, so we set it to true. For history tabs, we set it to false. Okay, so based on that, in view order over here, in this class, we check which one you want to load. Okay, so whatever it is, actually we can get it here right now. So we could do like this, order list. Can we access order list? Nope, because the order list is not a global variable, this one. Okay, is it? It should be, because okay, actually it's not. So here we could do a bit of checking. Okay, okay, let me do it like this. If this, then inside, come inside. Okay, all right. Else we do something different. Okay, all right, so this way we can also return something interesting here. We can say loading. Okay, all right, so now let's see, so this becomes like more like in this scope. So here we can do order list dot length dot to string. Okay, all it makes sense. So now we insert the scaffold. The scaffold has to return a widget, so we are returning a widget over here, right? Now it is based on the condition. If we are still loading, we say it's loading, but we'll change it very soon, don't worry. Otherwise we'll fall back to this condition and return the length, whatever it is. Okay, all right, so current order 4, history orders 5. Okay, you get the idea. Okay, so it means it's working over here, right? Great. Of course, you just don't want to return things like this in text. All right, so what we could do, we could go ahead and start over and click on the button, and we'll see. So here, so it said it was loading, right? And it went away. Okay, so after this, we want to remove this, and we want to have a sized box. The reason is because we want it to take all the space there horizontally. Okay, now here we can set up the width, and we could do dimensions dot get screen width. Okay, right, this like that. Okay, and right after that we want to have a child inside, and we want to have list view. Okay, now list view dot builder. Okay, inside the builder it will have what do you have? It takes context and an index. Okay, right after that we'll return yes, so we need return like this. Okay, now what do we want? We want to have an inkwell because we want to be able to click. Okay, now here we will have a child, and inside child we'll have a container. Okay, now here we also need on pressed event. Okay, but for now it is null, we don't have anything. Okay, cool. So we need this one. All right, now inside this we have the container. Very soon we'll be able to view the data. So here you can also do item count. For item count we'll do order list dot length. Okay, all right, now here we could do child again, and then we'll do text, and inside this text we'll have this order ID. So just simply go ahead and show it like this. Yeah, we'll use $, and then we'll do order ID. Okay, I think it should be order list, and here we would go ahead with index, and then we do dot, and this is the ID. Okay, all right, let's see if it works or not. Yes, so we see the order ID immediately, and these are the history orders ID. Okay, and this is the current going on. So but of course it's based on the status. All right, so it might not be I mean, because we do a lot of random tests on our database. Okay, so some of them might not look good, but if you have a fresh database and you put your orders there, definitely it'll look great. Okay, all right. Of course we don't want to put it like this right now because it looks very strange. We want to have order ID, the word over here, and then we'll put the order ID over here, like order ID, then confirmed and track order, things like that. Okay, so here we need a row, and inside the row we'll have one text section, and after that we'll have a column section. Okay, so that's what we're going to have. So let's come over here. So anyway, so this is what we have, but that's not how we want to display it. So we'll remove this one. Okay, inkwell. So we already have a container over here, and well, what can we do over here? So let's see, can we have another column? Yes, we can. And let's see, children. Okay, so inside the children we'll have a row, and then we'll have children like this. Okay, you know, I don't want another column right now, so what do? We do a row over here. Okay, and inside the row we'll have children, and then because it's a row, so the first one we want to show the order. Okay, so here we do text, and here we do order ID. Okay, so now here we could do order list dot order list index dot ID to string. Okay, all right, so that's the first one, and let's save it. Okay, we set it like this. Okay, all right, and okay, now with this there is a problem though, because we want to push it a little bit further, so you can increase the space. All right, yeah, and actually you can increase a little more space. Yeah, that's okay. Now you want to have another column over here actually. Okay, so here we do column and children. Okay, now text hi and text. Okay, here track. Here we could do just say status. All right, let's see. Okay, great. But of course we need a little bit of space here. So how much space you want to put? So here we can change this one. Main axis alignment dot space between. Let's see how it goes. Okay, great. So it's working. All right. So here we want to show the order status, right? So we want to cut this one, and here we do like this $sign, and inside this we could do order list, this one, and index dot order status. Okay, all right. So order status is pending. This is what we see. Okay, and now here actually we want to put a button, so saying that track order. So here we can do equal. Okay, all right. Now here we'll have on tap, and we could just simply pass here null for now because we don't need this. And here we'll have child, and inside the child we'll have a container. Okay, container. All right, so now inside the container we'll have child, and we'll say text. Okay, for now we'll say track order like this, and we'll save it. Okay, cool. And we're in the column. So for column here we do cross-axis alignment dot can we do start, and let's see how it goes. Okay, so it looks much better. Between these two actually we want to have a sized box, and we do a little bit of height. So we do dimensions dot height 10. Okay, all right. So it looks better, and between actually each of this order we should also have a bit of space. Okay, and then we don't have 5, so we do by 2. All right. Okay, great. Now between each of this order list view, so we want to have a bit of space right below it. So here we have this container. Each container is showing this one. So what I'm going to do, let's see if we can cut this one and put it inside column, and then we'll have children, and then we will have a sized box. Okay, now here we do height, and right after it we do dimensions the height 10. Okay, and right before it we'll put the container. Okay, so this way after each item we'll have space. Okay, so now you see we have certain space, which is great. Okay, now here the problem with this list view builder, it's too much to the left and the right. Okay, so here we could, sorry about that, we could cut this one, this child. Okay, and we'll wrap it around a padding. So that's what I'm going to do. So here I do padding. Okay, all right. Now we'll have child. Okay, of course we need to give it a padding, so we want to give it a symmetric padding. So you would do padding, add insets, symmetrical. So here that's a horizontal, right? And we do dimensions, the width 10 by 2, so it will do left and right both. Okay, so it's looking much better. Okay, cool. So now with this, this section is looking great, and for history orders it's also the same. So these are all the confirmed orders, right? Orders that has been confirmed. Okay, all right. Now this condition actually you can always check in the back end, as well as your controller. Okay, the way you want to put, what you want to put. Okay, so the one that has been confirmed, that always goes there. Okay, but this logic totally depends on you. It doesn't have to follow along with me. I'm showing you the logic, that how things should work. Okay, so here is my orders, right? Great. Okay, so these are the pending orders that didn't change the status, and that has been confirmed. Now here confirmed, I think we already paid the money. Okay, but I think a lot of the things we need to change, but for now we are working on the skeleton, and soon we'll change them as well. Okay, cool. So that is done, and if we come to view order as well, now we need to do a bit of styling over here. I think instead of saying like this, we do ID, and here for pending itself, let's see where it says pending order status, this one, right? Okay, so we want to wrap it around a container. Okay, and here we'll have a child, and here we'll have this one. Now here we'll have decoration. Okay, so we'll do box decoration, and so here we have this, and then we'll do border radius dot circular, and here we'll do dimensions dot radius, and then we divide it by 4, so we'll get 5. All right, yeah, so it's already working. It does look a bit strange, I know that, and okay, let's give it some margin. Okay, so here we do margin add inserts. No, actually we need to work with this from outside, not here with this text itself. Okay, now here container child, this one. Okay, and over here we'll have margin add inserts only. So we want to put margin everywhere, left and right, so we do all. Now here we do dimensions dot, let's see, what do we have, margin, things like that. Okay, then we'll go ahead with height and by 2. Okay, so it's looking better. And now the text color you want to change. So here we do color, we do style, text style, color. We just simply want to use colors dot white. Okay, so yeah, now with this is looking much better, and you'll see the same over here. Okay, now we do have a problem here. It's too close to the top, right? So I think we can also avoid that one. So over here we can do one vertical. Okay, and dimensions dot height by say 2. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, okay, cool. It looks much better now. Okay, and so that was for this one, and okay, that was for this container, this one, right? The order itself. Now here inkwell track order, actually you also want to do a little bit hiding as styling over here. So for that purpose, we can just simply copy this one first, okay, and we do it here. And I think we need kind of, you know, dashed line. So here actually we could do simply just border like that, okay, and let's see how it goes. Okay, now color itself, maybe we can just do this like this, colors dot white. Okay, we don't want any color like that. Okay, cool. All right, and right after this we'll copy this one, and here we'll put a container, and child is this, and we'll have a margin inside it. Okay, now okay, agent sets this one dot all, okay, and dimensions dot height by 2. Okay, so yeah, that's what we have now. I wanted to go with dashed line, but I think this would work as well. Okay, so with this we are done working on this item. Okay, all right, but I think I'm running out of time again with this tutorial, so I'm not sure that I can start from Firebase, but definitely the next part would do Firebase. So I'll put it and over here, and if you have any questions, leave a comment below. And I'm planning to upload the next tutorial within 10 days, so you guys don't have to worry much for the next one. Okay, so thank you so much.